Hey guys, welcome to new episode of ByteSavvy podcast. First of all, wish a very happy Diwali, Deepavali, and Tihar to every one of you. Today, I'm going to talk about the most ignored yet most important and most useful topic, and that is HTTP codes, its relevance and importance in software engineering. So, without further ado, let's start it, guys. So HTTP status codes are three-digit numbers written by a server in response to a client's request that is made to the server. These codes provide crucial information about the outcome of the request and guide both clients and developers in understanding the status of the web transaction. Like you may have get the response of 200, sometimes 500. You might have encountered internal server errors, or sometimes bad request, or sometimes unauthenticated, and sometimes redirection, or sometimes timeout. So let's break them out and then understand with different divisions. Okay, first of all, there are basically starter codes ranging from 100 to 400 or 500. The status code in the lines of hundreds, and that is one x-axis are informational, where 100 means continue. Server indicates the client can proceed with the request, and if the status code is 101, then switching protocols. Server is willing to switch protocols as required. That might be from UDP to TCP, or TCP to UDP, or it might be different other protocols. And status code we are more used to and more familiar is 2xx success 200 in the line of 200. 200 means okay, the request was successful. 201 means created, a new resource has been successfully created. 204 means no content, it is successfully processed and the request, but it is not returning any content. In such scenario, you can use status code 204, HTTP status code 204. And then 206 means partial content, the server is delivering only part of the resource and it is not complete. So that's all in the line of 200. Now in the line of 300, and that means redirection. If it is 300, then there are multiple choices, multiple representations available. The user or the user agent can choose. And if it is 301, that means moved permanently, the requested resource has been permanently moved, and that doesn't exist in the current URL. And then if it is 302, then that means found or moved temporarily, the request resource resides temporarily under the different URL, the only URL has been changed. But in case of 301, it was moved permanently. And then if it is 304, it means not modified, the resource has not been modified since the last requested time. And if it is 307, that means temporary redirect, similar to 302, but indicates that a client should repeat the request with the same method and use this new URL. So that is quite different than the 302, because client has to request again with a new URL. In case of 3 and 302, yeah, there was not need for the new request. Now if the status code, HTTP status codes are in the line of 400, 4xx, that means client errors. If it is 400, that means bad request, server cannot understand the request due to malformed syntax, that is bad syntax. And if it is 401, you all know it, right? Unauthorized, the request requires user authentication. If it is 403, that means forbidden, the server understood the request but refuses to authorize it. If it is 404, that means not found. You all know, you should know this. If you are a software developer, if you are a computer science student, then you might have already encountered this. So this is familiar. If it is 405, that means method not allowed. The method specified in the request is not allowed for the resource. That means we have different methods like get, post, patch, and update, delete, and many others. And if there doesn't exist that specific method, then that returns the standard HTTP practice should return 405, method not allowed. And there is 409, that means conflict. The request could not completed due to conflicted conflict with the current state of the target and resource, and that means there are something like some collision exists there, so that means conflict. And if it is for on the 410 410, that means gone. The requested resource is no longer available at the server and no forwarding address is known. If it is 429, then that means too many requests. The user has sent too many requests in a given amount of time. This code is basically comes when there is rate limits in the API. You might have encountered like while calling the API as recursive. I mean, in a loop or repeatedly or with multiple times within a minute. And if the status code are in the line of 500, that is 5xx, that means server error. 500 means internal server error, a generic error message indicating an unexpected server condition. And if it is 501, that means not implemented, the server does not support the functionality required to fulfill the request. And if it is 502, that means bad gateway, the server acting as a gateway received an invalid response from an upstream server. And if it is 503, that means service unavailable, the server is not ready to handle the request. If it is 504, that means gateway timeout, server acting as a gateway did not receive a timely response from the upstream server. If it is 505, that means HTTP version not supported. The server does not support the HTTP protocol version which is used in request. And at last, in summary, HTTP status codes play a vital role in communication between clients and servers. They convey information about the success or failure of a request, enabling developers to diagnose and troubleshoot issues in web applications. Understanding these codes is essential for effective web development and debugging. Not only that, that brings uniformity and that standardize the development. And like in any project, in any applications, there might be involvement of the multiple users, multiple developers, multiple engineers, and in that case, if it is standardized, if proper best practices are followed, then obviously this status code has to be implemented in a standard way. So they are very important. We know they are very simple. We are ignoring them, but we should not ignore them. It might haunt you at times, at the times of interview you might get embarrassed if you even don't know some basic codes in the line of 100 and 200, which was the case with me. So I have revisited it and I feel it should be explained, and it should be brought to the larger audience. So I have I'm discussing it today, so hope it will not be the case with you. And